So for this one here, is, as you can see, the title kind of gives it away. It says here, using trig ratios, and the three primary trigonometric ratios that we know of are sine, cosine, and tangent. So it kind of gives it away that we're going to be using that. But what are we trying to find this time? We're going to use a trig ratio to find an angle measurement. So, again, this is your SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, tangent ratios. We're just actually going to go to the example. Okay. So solve for theta. So this time we're solving for an angle. Oh, I forgot. So this one should be meters there. So let's put meters there. You're given two sides. We're trying to find out the angle. So this is your angle. From this angle, from this view, from this angle, we have to label these two sides. Okay? So let's label this one first. What would this be? What's that? Hypotenuse. Is everybody okay? This is hypotenuse. From this angle, what do you call this side? Opposite. Okay, I heard some opposite. Okay, so from there, do we care about this piece over here? No. Not really, right? Because this one has no information, and we can't have two missing information in an equation. Okay, we can't solve it. So don't worry about this part. Now the next step is, which trig ratio will give you hypotenuse and opposite? Sine. Yeah, sine. SOHCAHTOA. So sine is opposite and hypotenuse. Write it down. So sine theta equals to opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so that's how you proceed. The next thing is substitution. So sine theta. Well, I don't know what my theta is, so I'll just put theta for now. What should I put for opposite? 26. What do I put for hypotenuse? 41. Okay, stop right there. Now, what are we trying to do? We're trying to solve for theta, correct? Okay. Now, but we have to somehow get rid of sine. Now, to get rid of the sine, the inverse of that would be the sine inverse. So, the sine, to get rid of the sine, the opposite, thinking about the opposite of sine is a sine inverse. So look for a sine inverse in your calculator. Okay, so this is my calculator. My sine inverse is the one that says sine to the -1. So locate where that is on your calculator. It should have sine to the -1. Okay. If you can't find your sine inverse, just raise up your hand and we'll help you out. Yeah, let me finish this one first, because I don't want to have other conversation. Okay? Is everybody, can you locate your sine inverse? Yeah. Yes, okay. Good. So what we're going to do, don't type anything yet. Don't start typing. We're going to get rid of sine. To do that, you have to apply the sine inverse. So, sine inverse. If I take the sine inverse of this side, I gotta be fair on both sides of the equation, right? What you do on one side, I gotta be fair. So I'm gonna do the sine inverse on this side as well. Okay. So no, I'm not multiplying. Sine and sine inverse cancel that function, right? Okay, I'll show you this. Okay? We said that when you have a plus, the opposite of that would be minus. The opposite of multiply would be, the inverse of that would be the division. If you have a squaring, what's the opposite of squaring, or the inverse of the squaring?
Square root.
Square root. Now, if you have a sign, to reverse that, that would be the sine inverse. Okay? So you're not multiplying it. You're not multiplying. It's not an operation. It's a function. So, I'm going to take the sine inverse of sine theta. What would happen? Sine inverse and sine cancel each other out. What's left? What remains is theta. Now you have a sine inverse of all of these. So sine inverse of 26 over 41. Okay. I'm going to show you two different ways of doing this. Okay, here's two different ways. I can go sine inverse of 26 divided by 41. Equals 39.35. Okay, that's one way of doing that. Another way of doing this would be 26 divided by 41. Find out the answer first, and then do the sine inverse. Okay. So,
How you do that?
how did I do that? Okay, let's try that again. The possibility would be 26 divided by 41. So that's this part here, right? It's going to give us 0.63. Okay, that's just a decimal. And then once you have that, you can do the sine inverse of that answer. And I have an answer button. Yeah.
Without inverse, you can't get it, but I can't get rid of this one.
Yeah.
I do have
How much you get?
39.35. You can get the answer without this, that you cannot get rid outside.
What number?
You know?
No, that one is recording setting. This one not calling setting. This one not calling setting. But according to you, then I said 60 divided 41. So it's becoming 39.5.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that one? So don't rush into like picking up your calculator and start typing things in. You have to set it up. Okay. Is that good? So our theta is equals to 39.36 degrees. Okay. Now, did everybody get 39.36 degrees?
I got only 39.
Huh?
39.
You got 39? Okay. Take a look at that.
Yeah, but 0.6.
It's kind of hard to see. Okay, I just resetted your calculator and now it says degree mode, so try it again. Okay, so did everybody get 39.36 degrees? Yes? Okay. Let's try one more. One more. Two more. Solve for theta. Okay, here's my theta. Here's my theta. Let's label the sides. What do you call the 42.5? Opposite. What do you call the 19.7? Adjacent. Okay. Now, which are we concerned about this part? No, right? So what trig ratio are we going to use? Tangent? Yeah, tangent. So tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. Substitute the values in. So tan theta. Opposite is 42.5. Adjacent is 19.7. Okay. Now, what are you going to do to isolate theta? You're going to do the inverse of tangent, right? Inverse of tangent. So tan inverse, I'm actually going to do a shortcut here, is equal to tan inverse of 42.5 divided by 19.7. So tan inverse. Is brackets important?
Yes.
Is brackets important here? When I type it in.
Yes, between convections.
Yeah, it's important. If I type it in as a whole, brackets is important. Okay, so tan inverse of 42.5 divided by 19.7. 65.13. And what unit should I put in? We're talking about the angle, so it's degrees, right? Good. So far, so good? You okay? Did everybody get 65.13? Yeah? Okay, now your calculator works. Okay, let's do one more question. Huh?
65
For this one? You got 65.35? Okay, so let's try the last example here. Solving for theta. Solving for theta. First, we label the sides. What do you call this 21 over here? Hypotenuse, yeah. What do you call the 13? The 13? Opposite. Okay, sorry. I thought I heard adjacent. Sorry. Opposite. What trig ratio are you going to use then? Sine? Yeah? Everyone agrees? It's sine again? Okay, so let's do sine. Yeah. Yeah, what is it?
It's down, not up.
Oh, yeah, you got a different version. Yeah, you got a different version. Huda. You got the second latest version. Okay, just switch it up there. Okay, so sine, that'd be sine of theta equals to opposite, which is 13. Over hypotenuse of 21. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take theta is equals to the sine inverse of 13 over 21. Okay. And what's that equal to? $38.252466, so we'll round it off to 25 degrees. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay, so that's it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get you to try this one, but as you are working on that one, I will also assign a calculator. And I know, who has a graphing calculator now? In class, like you own it. You own the graphing calculator.
Which one?